Now I'm kind of going in reverse of what I did before. I'm going to connect the vacuum line back to this port here on the intake manifold. But in my earlier video, I showed you I broke off the tab here on this check valve. So I got a replacement check valve here. Up the check valve the way the other one was. And I'll put this one in here, pull that out. So push this through there to the top, there on the intake manifold. This one here is the other number 20. It's going to go in here. There's the vacuum check valve connected. So I've got the line coming out behind here and down, and then it goes here to the yellow line and back up that way, and then across here to the intake manifold, and then across, around, and down to the vacuum tap. I'm going to reinstall the EGR valve, but first I got to deal with this broken hard vacuum line here. So there's a larger rubber vacuum line that was hose clamped to one of these hard small ones, and then it looks like it had broken previously, and this was a splice that was made, and then a little bit more, and then it broke again. So I picked up an assortment of different splice connections and an assortment of different diameter hard tubing, and so I'm going to just replace the sections now that were broken. Get the EGR valve on now while I have the room, and then I'll fix the vacuum lines. Just set it right here, and I'll start threading it by hand first. It's the final tighten here. The back one is a little bit more difficult to reach. Now I'm just going to be test fitting this vacuum line here, and I'll pull this section out and now feed this one in like that. Now I do have a bottom port opening here. I'm not sure which that goes for. I think it's this number 10 piece, so I got to look at my old video and see, but for now that's the EGR hookup. I'm going to connect the replacement hose section. This is 3/16 outer diameter, the best size that I could find, into the back port here. That joins with 8A. Then this is going to come around and connect over here to this section that I had labeled before and had broken off coming out of there. So that now is a replacement section. For now, I'm going to leave these original ones here connected over to the air pump, AIR pump, because they're not breaking, but we may need to replace some more. All right, I've got this hose here that's going to go onto this lower port of the TVS. So I'm just going to push fit that right on there now. Now we'll connect the coolant hose here back down onto this port on the intake manifold down here. Make sure that, yeah, that grips. I'm going to connect up some of the other wires here over to the side now. I'll start with the compressor wire. Okay. Now I'll work my way down. Here I've got the two wire loom clips holding it to the top of the valve cover, and I've got a broken one here that I'm going to zip tie, but I'm going to follow this down, and I have one connection here that goes underneath the exhaust manifold, and then I have this other one that comes up here and connects to that purple wire. So I'll bring that in first here, and then I'm not going to be able to show it clearly, but you're going to have to feel for this connection here underneath. There's a flat tab that comes out, and you just have to feel for that to go in until it clicks down there. And then I'm going to zip tie these down now. feeding the upper radiator hose underneath the air conditioner line and above the lower TVS, and just gonna kind of work that back over. Okay, I got it back up to the arrow here. Okay, position this roughly where it was before. Tighten this down. Now I'm going to work on the canister control valve, or the CCV here. I found a new old stock replacement there. I'll put the part number in the description. This is from the shop manual, showing a cross-section of the canister control valve and the connections made to each of the 4 ports. The CCV is an important part of the vacuum control and evaporative emissions control system on this car. The top 2 ports are for the control vacuum and the manifold vacuum, respectively. The 3rd port connects to the carburetor bowl tube, and the bottom port connects to the vapor canister tube. I'm also going to replace the PCV valve. I have a replacement for that as well. So I've already replaced this one section of hose. I'm going to move these 4 over to here now, hook up the PCV, and then we'll get this on the car. Going to connect up the canister control valve now, lay this in. I've got the PCV valve here, which is going to go into this grommet on the valve cover, but I'm going to leave that loose for now. I've got the orientation of the hoses lined up roughly the way that they should be to prepare for the carb. Top and bottom of the TVS are attached. CCV is here in place like this. Hoses are pointing to where they need to connect to the carburetor. Over here on the far right of the frame, I'm going to push in the PCV valve into the grommet. Let's get ready to transfer stuff over from this carb onto the remanufactured new carb from Autoline here. This is kind of cool. We got all 3 carbs set out. This was the original one on the Caprice from 1985 to about 2011. This was a replacement, actually not 2011. I think this was a second replacement. I'm going to say maybe 2015. And then I just pulled this off this year, 2026. This is going to be the new one that's going on the car now. Just looking at the differences on these 3 different carbs here, even though they're all E4ME quadrajets, I thought it was interesting to note the mixture control solenoid caps. This one here is on the original, and it still has that brass plate stamped. So at the time, I guess the emissions regulations didn't allow any tampering with this. This is the carburetor that was on the car, remanufactured, so say 10 or more years ago. That just has that plug kind of just pressed in. This Autoline one, you can see, has the adjustable screw recessed here with that yellow in the center sort of to lock it. But this can be adjusted if needed, but should be preset. Another small difference to note here is this vertical plate, the air horn baffle or choke baffle on the original carburetor. I don't remember seeing this on either the previous remanufactured carb, and certainly it's not on this one, and it's not on the new one as well. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to transfer this part over to the newest carb, just for that original kind of authenticity, but I'm going to leave this here for now. It's an easy thing to attach with these 2 torque screws here later, and I'll think about it. One other thing is this kind of greenish metal choke lever arm here. I transferred this from the original carburetor because this remanufactured one did not have it. And I was like, what? Why would that be? So I actually moved it off of the original carb, and I've had it on here the whole time. So I'm going to take it back off of here and put it on the original carb to keep that with the original. But notice that the new remanufactured one already has that arm in place. So I just transferred this arm back to the original carb here, just for my records. There it is, gone from there. Let's move the idle stop solenoid over to the replacement carb. This is just a T25 Torx head here, and I'll take these screws out and we'll move this over. Okay, just attach this pretty much easy peasy like that, right in. Now I'm going to transfer over the throttle linkage ball stud here over to this one. Got a 1/2 inch wrench on the inside nut, and I'm putting a 7/16 socket here on the outside just to loosen this up. Okay. Put a little bit of blue thread lock just to prevent it from vibrating loose. I'm going to get this in now and started by hand. Again, the 1/2 inch wrench on the inside, 7/16 on the outside, and we'll just tighten this down. Now I'm going to take off the part I labeled 3 here, which is that fuel line that goes in to this part here. There is a fuel filter here in the new carburetor. I can see the orange in there, but I had purchased a fuel filter just in case. This is what it looks like, and it would sit in here. So the new one has it in here, so I'm not going to take this off. We're just going to transfer this piece. Okay, 5/8 inch wrench works on here. Yeah, it was on there real tight. So I used a 5/8 deep socket, but you can see here all I did was succeed in loosening this for the fuel filter. And that's okay. I'm going to take this whole thing off, then I'll put another wrench on here and separate the two. The way to get this separated like that was on the floor, stepping on one and pushing on the other. And that allows me to separate the pieces. Okay, we're going to attach this here. I've cleaned it, and I'm just going to hand thread it in. I'm just going to get it tight plus a 1/4 turn. So right about there is pretty tight. Now I'm going to remove what I've labeled number 8 here underneath. This is 2-port connection and small section of rubber hose. I'm going to replace this with an SAE 30R7 fuel rated hose, 3/8 inch. I cut a piece that's about the same length. I mean, this reeks of fuel, and it could be one of the reasons why we smelled fuel vapors persistently. I just took my knife and sliced this to avoid risking breaking this by twisting and pulling too much. So I just split this open and pull that off. I'll wipe this down, and then we'll attach the new hose. Okay, so just attach this new section of hose onto this fitting here. All right, cleaned off these clamps. I'm going to feed these back on. The other one I'll put on here and then attach it on the new carb. All right, now we're ready to mount this onto the new carburetor here. All right, now we'll get this seated in here on the new carb. Okay, relabeled it number 8. We're going to have 8A and 8B when we get this on the car, but now that's I'm just going to remove this screw on top and transfer it over. Okay, and I'll thread this down here. Okay, now I need to attach the gasket to the top. This one was in there, but it was a little bent, so I bought another one, set that in there, and then at least I know I have a spare. I forgot, I got to transfer this nut fitting to the back of the new car. I'm using a 3/4 inch deep socket here. It took a little pressure to break that free. Before I attach this nut here on the back for the power brake port, I'm going to put a little bit of thread sealant on here because I really need to make sure this is a vacuum tight seal. So I'll just start this by hand and tighten it down now with the deep socket. Okay, this nut's on really tight. I think we've got everything transferred over now that we need, and we're ready to set this in on top of the intake manifold. Take out paper towels, lay down the replacement gasket. Here we go. And just make sure I'm aligned here. Just to help me make sure I'm aligning this, I'm going to get these rear bolts in and feel for the holes underneath. There we go. Okay, so that one went through. Okay, now I'll try the front bolts. this one on this side. Okay, all four are going in, so I know we're aligned. Just going to do a check here to make sure that the gasket is evenly placed underneath, and then we'll tighten this down. I'm just tightening these down now in a crisscross pattern, a little bit at a time, sure that I don't warp anything. Here's the torque specs for the carburetor bolts. The long bolts, 7 foot-pounds. The short bolts, 11 foot-pounds. All right, so I do have this set to 11 foot-pounds. So that's for the rear, the correct torque. So I'm just bringing those down just to check to make sure that they are to tightness. Good, so those two are tight. Just gonna bring this in. There we go, okay. So check, good. We're at 7 in the front and 11 in the back. This is fully tightened. One last thing I think I will transfer over from the original carburetor is this baffle here. I think it's called an air horn baffle or a choke baffle. This is T25 size. So screws out, and I'll pull this off and just give it a quick wipe down and clean it up. Wow, just a little bit of wiping with some brake cleaner, and that looks like new. And you can see the original part number stamped in there. That's really kind of cool. It's a little bent here, but straightened out. I think it's okay. Transfer it over now. So I'll get these torque screws out on the new carb. Just set that down. All right, there's the baffle in place. Kind of cool, a little touch of something original. Next time we'll come in and connect everything up to the carburetor and get it all plugged in. But for now, I think this is a good place to stop.